A year after Royal Enfield teased a concept bike in Milan, the so-called Big Himalayan has just been caught testing on public roads, and this time it looks almost ready for showrooms. But before anyone gets too excited, here's the obvious question. Why has this taken so long, and what is Royal Enfield still not telling us? Spy photographers working with the British outlet MCN caught the Himalayan 750 near Royal Enfield's technical centre in Leicestershire, England. Gone are the crude prototype panels and awkward camouflage. This bike now wears alloy wheels, road tyres, and an instrument cluster that looks production ready. In Royal Enfield's world, that usually means one thing: launch is close. But close has been the story for a while now. Talk of a twin-cylinder Himalayan goes back to early 2025, when prototypes built on the Interceptor engine and a reworked Adventure chassis first surfaced in India. Since then, the company has paraded this bike through extreme high-altitude testing in Ladakh, with CEO Govindarajan himself reportedly riding it, and through a slow visual evolution from spoked wheels to alloys. It has been a long, carefully staged rollout, and staged is the operative word. Royal Enfield knows exactly how to drip-feed hype. At EICMA 2025, Govindarajan told MCN the concept shown in Milan was still a work in progress, something that needed validation from the customer's point of view before it could go into production. In other words, it was not ready, and the company was buying itself time. Nearly a year later, these new photos suggest that time is finally running out, at least for Royal Enfield. Here is what we now know. The Himalayan 750 will not be one bike, but two. One version, spotted with alloy wheels and street tires, is clearly built for touring and road use. The other, expected with a 19-inch front and 17-inch rear spoked wheel setup and dual-purpose tires, targets the traditional Himalayan crowd who actually want to go off-road. Under the tank sits an evolved version of the familiar 650cc parallel twin. Now bored out towards 750cc Royal Enfield is targeting around 60 horsepower, a real step up from the 48 horsepower of the current 650, and finally competitive with rivals in Western markets. But notice what is missing from every statement so far: torque figures. For an adventure bike that lives or dies by low-end pulling power, that is not a small omission. It is the number that actually matters, and Royal Enfield still is not sharing it. The bike also gets a new tubular frame that uses the engine as a stressed member, a redesigned exhaust to meet European emissions rules, ride-by-wire throttle, switchable riding modes, cruise control, a TFT dashboard borrowed from the Himalayan 450, Showa upside-down forks, and Biber brakes. Solid, modern hardware on paper. Whether the switchgear is actually intuitive to use is still an open question. Even the spy shots suggest the control layout looks a little cramped. All signs point to a debut at EICMA in Milan on November 5, 2026, a fitting stage for a bike built with European buyers in mind. As for price, anything circulating right now is pure speculation, including estimates of just above €7,000. Royal Enfield has not confirmed a single figure. Until it does, treat every number online, including that one, as a guess dressed up as a fact. So, is the Himalayan 750 finally here? Almost. Royal Enfield has mastered the art of the long tease, extreme test rides, staged spy shots, vague promises about customer validation. The bike looks close to finished. Whether the company is actually ready to deliver it, on time and at a price that makes sense, is a very different question. We will find out in November.